Live.
Good evening and welcome to General Council, May 27th, 2025. Let's go to number one, attendance roll. So we have Amos, I think he's off on vacation. Go ahead, Carrie.
Carrie Bomberry, present.
Audrey Paulus Bomberry, present.
Dale Bomberry, present.
Dean Hill, present.
Greg Fraser.
Leslie Green.
Melba Thomas, present.
Elena Venevri.
Cynthia Jameson.
Go ahead, Helen.
Helen Miller, present.
And we have Hazel Johnson. She might be attending late. So let's go to number two, identification of media. I don't see any. So let's go to number three. So before we get started, let's take a moment of silence to honor our community members who we have recently lost. Let's take a moment. Thank you. So number four, adoption of the agenda. So the deletion, number five for delegations, Jeff Thomas won't be coming in from First Nations Cable. He won't be coming in tonight. So we'll take that off. Other than that, can I have a mover to accept the agenda? Moved by Audrey, seconder. Second by Leslie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number six, adoption of the General Council minutes of May 13th, 2025. Is there a mover? Moved by Dale, seconder. Second by Leslie. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Number seven, it has the chief's updates. So May 10th, I participated in the 5K walk for hospice fundraiser at the Blue Track. I raised $200 in pledges. Brant Community Health Care System, Strengthening the Canoe, was on May 13th. I attended and gave welcoming remarks. Brant Community Healthcare Systems was putting it on at the Woodland Cultural Center. So Brantford Community Health System organized the public gathering to bring together local and surrounding healthcare organizations to address service gaps and learn about healthcare from the Indigenous perspective. The Norfolk General Hospital and West Haldeman General Hospital have offered to host the next event. On May 13th, 3 members from Constance Lake who worked for Constance Lake visited Six Nations with the intent of building content for a youth exchange program with Six Nations, well-being and social child and youth programs. They spent 2 days on the territory. Next week, Six Nations, the Grand River staff will travel to Constance Lakes First Nation to complete the planning, and the dates for the youth exchange dates are still to be determined. On May 15th this year, Legislation Assembly of Ontario, 10 Legislation Assembly internship program interns visited Six Nations. They spent part of the morning on a virtual tour of Woodland Cultural Center, and then in the afternoon, they came and visited me here at the Chambers. We spoke about the history of Six Nations, political advocacy, and the needs of Six Nations community and priorities for Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council. On Saturday, May 17th, I attended Michelle Farmer Stars of Tomorrow event at the Sanderson Center to celebrate 50 years of community talent. I presented Michelle Farmer with a plaque recognizing her accomplishments and contributions to uplifting the community through the arts. Again, congratulations, Michelle. And it was nice to see all the young talent that we have in our community. It was amazing to see that. And thank you to Councillor Greg Fraser for delivering the marks on behalf of myself because I had laryngitis. Bread and cheese on the 19th. I walked in the bread and cheese parade. We handed out bread and cheese. And again, thank you to Councillor Greg Fraser for delivering opening remarks on my behalf. And a huge thank you to all the volunteers and everyone who made that day a success. Also, I just wanted to share that we had 8,500 blocks of cheese and 2,125 loaves of bread. Let's go to May 20th. I traveled to Grey County for my first stop on the Haldeman Tract municipal engagements. I'm meeting with all the municipalities within the Haldeman Tract to build relationships and allies to work cooperative together. I met with Grey County Warden Andrea Matt-Roofs, Grey Highlands Mayor Paul McQueen, and Southgate Mayor Brian Millen. While in Grey County, I got to visit the Grand River headwaters of Dundalk. Also, on May 21st, I attended the Six Nations of the Grand River Economic Development Corporation annual general meeting, where their 2024 audit was presented. Also, their 2024 annual report is now on their website. On May 22nd, Hamilton staff were present to begin the Junos 2026 planning discussions. So Six Nations is being invited to help share the City of Hamilton's priorities for next year's Junos. We have been exploring opportunities for collaboration, and there will be a bunch of committees for this to be a successful event. Also, Bill 17, Protect Ontario by Building Faster and Smarter Act, has been introduced by Ontario on May 12th. Bill 17 has several environmental registry office and regulatory registry proposals that are open for comment on the legislative changes that closed June 11th. The information was immediately shared with our staff. Bill 5, Protect Ontario by Unleashing the Economy Upbeat. Bill 5 remains under review by the Standing Committee on the Ontario Legislature. Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council opposes Bill 5 and calls on Ontario to consult with Six Nations on any legislation affecting our inherent and constitutional rights. My office has been communicating this to Ontario in multiple ways. We submitted a request to present at the Standing Committee on the Interior. While this was submitted prior to the deadline, I was not selected to present. Submitted a written feedback, brief analyzing Bill 5 to the Standing Committee. Also submitted 7 environmental registry office proposals related to Bill 5. And yeah, my office is working with our communication teams to notice which is to get out to the community. And that's it. Is there a mover to accept my updates as information? Moved by Leslie, second by Carrie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to update the community committee, data governance committee. Go ahead.
Thanks, Chief. So we did defer our latest data governance committee that was for the May 20th to the next meeting. So there is no updates currently from that as of right now. And I'll go ahead and defer the community committee updates to my co-chair as I was away on council business for that day. So thank you. Go right ahead, Dale.
Hey, Bill.
I know we're having one of a community organization will be making a request to council for funding to help us on their annual event, so that'll be forthcoming to a general finance meeting. So when there's more information on that, we'll present what that would be. As well, I know we had We had reallocated some funds within fire to, and that'll be coming to council as well for formal approval, just to reallocate some funds within the fire department to create a little reserve for them to do some capital expenditures. Hmm? Mm, yeah, that's pretty well it.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
no, yeah, just some things for the fire chief to do that he'll be working on in relation to some external meetings. That's about it. That's about it, chief.
Okay. Can I have a mover to accept Dale's update as information? Moved by Audrey, seconder, second by Leslie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Seeing none, carried. Okay, number 2. Sorry, that was,
That's what I just did.
yep. So number 3, Lands and Resource, Wealth and Economy Committee. The meeting was on Tuesday, May 13th. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah, thank you for that. As the name implies, it's had been 2 separate committees, that is Lands Resources and Wealth and Economy. And as council is aware, we amalgamated a lot of the committees. So I think it was late last fall, they came together. So it's one committee now. For this particular meeting, looking at the Wealth and Economy side, we had a meeting with the Cannabis Commission members. I think I noted to council, they're all relatively new, except for one member has been there for a few years. And essentially what we had communicated to them was that council wanted to meet with them, and they were, I think, scheduled to meet on the 26th, but informed us they weren't able to meet on that date. I think they might have a problem because I understand they work during the day. So in any event, what was communicated to them, of course, were council's concerns with the recent issues that have been on the grow operation on Fourth Line. And that communication was council wanted them to be prepared for the meeting. It was to be arranged as soon as their schedules would permit. And in preparation for the meeting, council wanted a list of all who are the current licensees, like all the people named on each of the licenses, the location of each, and also what was the license or what is the license period. Also, that to prepare for a meeting with council, council of course wanted to discuss with them all these issues that are coming to all of our attention, but not just to identify there's issues, but we would want to hear from the commission of how they could see addressing these issues. So we would have to do it together. And what was made clear to them is they are authorized to implement, operate the cannabis law and the regulations. And they were given that authority by a previous council. However, what was also made known to them is council can delegate authority, but it can never truly abdicate. At the end of the day, we're responsible. So that's council wanted all this information brought forward. And again, their ideas as they are the commissioner responsible of how to address these various issues. And also to prepare, we need another meeting, a planning meeting, because as I think the chief announced, there is going to be a community engagement, but it would require the attendance of the commission members as well as the council as a whole, just so they would have the heads up and have time to prepare this. We were informed that there are currently 75 dispensaries in the community, but only 6 have been actually signed up with the commission. So we'll get further information of exactly whose names are on all these licenses. And another that they noted, they would be meeting with some of the senior admin here because their, as council is aware, their memorandum of understanding they have with council has expired. I think the last commission members, it's commission, but the actual members had got an extension on that, but that's finished. And as I explained to them, council doesn't have a whole lot of authority under that legislation or the regulations. When we amalgamated these committees together, I had to, of course, get a copy of the law and the regulations to find out what is council's responsibility. And I remember in my report to you, it's very, very limited. Council must, according to this, provide operational dollars to the Cannabis Commission until they're self-sustaining. And as well, if there are changes to the cannabis law or regulations, it's council as a whole that would make those changes. The commission itself can't make those changes. And the bridge, if you will, because they also are an incorporated body, the Cannabis Commission. So the bridge, if you will, I guess it was envisioned by previous councils that they wouldn't be able to have the funds right away to be able to run themselves. So the bridge is this memorandum of understanding that I mentioned that they were working on, and hopefully they would have it ready because they are operating without funding, as we understand at the moment. I think that was pretty well on that part. Then on the lands resources, we had a report. We were reminded that on Wednesday, May 28th, which is tomorrow evening, there's the in community engagement regarding the Paris residential development. And it starts at 5:45 at the community hall. And we were also reminded they had sent out the I guess the advertisement for when it would be held and that sort of thing in the mail to everyone. Also, they mentioned this in their update, this Sloat property. Do you remember that was a while ago? I think it was in 2017. It was given over to Six Nations, this property that I understand is some 43.75 acres by a developer. And the part of the report is because there's a couple of buildings on there that were very old and in needing to be demolished. But there was a hold up because of what they say, the basement was full of water and part was coming from, there's two wells that have to be decommissioned, but they were finding asbestos and barrels of contaminated oil. So they would have to probably rework their budget because, as you know, to address those those remediations is somewhat expensive. And also she noted there's a barn. There are barn swallows in there. So they couldn't just, I don't know who they have. Dale's laughing at me, but that's what they said. They couldn't demolish the barn. Am I wrong? No, you're correct. Oh, okay. I thought you were laughing at me. No. Previous experience with the same issue. Okay. Delayed project because of that. Yeah. But it sounded like, I didn't know there were all these rules, but I said, couldn't you wait till they're finished their nesting and whatever, and then, I don't know. It was not an easy fix, it sounded like, because then they got to work with the environment people and so forth. I think that was it on that part there. That was it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yep, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, Cynthia, thank you for that very extensive report. It was good. Just wanted to add there about I've been given the opportunity to work with Lands and Resources on looking at and informing the community on a periodic basis our relationship to other First Nations in the area, as well as reinforcing information about Six Nations of the Grand River. Again, our historical connection to our traditional lands, as well as looking at little snippets from the research that has, or research, historical accounts and research that have come from our land claim. And I'll be working with Phil just to give community some periodic updates.
Okay, can I have, yep, go ahead, Dale.
I know I didn't do this at first, 'cause I was just reading the emails, and I got an email from the Director of Public Works today, and I know it's just an update in relation to stuff
So-
they're doing to the for the community.
Okay, so
So-
let me,
So just as new business, I guess.
yep. You got one more? Go ahead.
And another thing that I informed the Cannabis Commission of is that there had been a complaint come forward early, I think it was December or whatever, but it was sent over to our committee. But because of all the issues being dealt with and our committees can only make recommendations, it will be the full council agenda.
Okay, can I have a mover to accept Cynthia and Greg's report as information? Moved by Audrey, second by Dean. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, this is from our committee meeting, which is Bill, Environment, Lands Membership Committee. Just some issues that's come from Public Works that they're dealing with and working on, and probably most of the people in the community are probably aware of them already. And the first one was the truck fill station. So it's based on a meter, and how the meter scores based on people's tabs. That's how they get charged when they or it comes off of their tab when they get water. But I guess it's broken, so I guess what's going on is because it's old equipment, they're having a hard time finding parts. But I guess the other part of that is, I guess people are still using it, and I guess it's not recording their score, so I guess they're accessing water free for the time being until they get it fixed. So they are working on getting the new equipment in there so that it can be computerized and be able to be read with the internal computer system that they have to read it. The other one is they usually have 2 household hazardous waste days, and the first one they're going to be having will be Saturday, July the 5th, and the next one will probably be in November. They're out. I guess they're offering a new service of tree and brush cutting. I know they used to do it along the road, so I don't know if they're expanding. I don't know all the details yet, but it is available to the community, and he says it's been in high usage, so people are accessing that service that they're in there. The cost is minimal, I guess, just the cost to the community on what it was for the hard labor, that's it. And I guess this is where people may know about this one as well. They have 3 sanitation trucks, and unfortunately 2 of them broke down, but they have since got them repaired, and now they're trying to get caught up on all their sanitation septic calls. And one other thing is, I know council did approve some applications to look at getting some funding to upgrade the water treatment plant and look at, I guess, heading in the direction of designing a wastewater treatment plant. So those are just things from the Public Works Committee that I know we talked about it at our BCOM meeting, which was on the 8th, but he just didn't have his report for council, so it's here now. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Can I have a mover to accept Dale's update? Moved by Melba, second by Leslie. Yep, go ahead, question.
Dale, I just have a question. I know we have the water facility here in Ashwaubenon. The one on Second Line, is that owned by Six Nations?
No, that's with New Credit. It's on New Credit.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. So before we wrap it up, an update on cannabis. The 59th elected council acknowledged the seriousness of the concerns shared by our community regarding the outdoor growing of cannabis. This council is working closely with our lawyers to review and amend the cannabis law to give the elected council some authority related to the issue or renewing licenses. Effective yesterday, we put a moratorium on licenses until November 25th with a provision to extend this time frame with another 6 months. This gives us time to work together with the relatively new Cannabis Commission members to work together on compliance matters. We ask for your continued patience as we all work to uphold the cannabis law and its regulations in a manner that is fair to all involved. Okay, everyone, is there a motion I need a mover to adjourn. Moved by Leslie, second by Hazel. All in favor? Be opposed? See none, carried. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight and have a great night. Okay, Jody, let me know when we're off.